What's good, YouTube? This is a good question. Let's talk about this. Somebody said, how can you build with a man without him using you? What boundaries should you set? Okay, that's a good question. How can you build with a man without him using you, right? And I guess this is just about the concept of whether or not a man needs to be pre-built, have it already, have all the money, status, pedigree already, or, how do you build with a man without him using you? That's a good question. But before I start, listen, I know the internet makes it seem like everybody is successful, is making tons of money, and is getting to that bag, but it's simply not true for most people. Many of us are struggling and having a lot of trouble paying our bills and our debts, especially after the pandemic. A lot of us have high interest credit card debt and loans with payments too large to make with ridiculous interest rates. If this sounds like you, then click the link below to get real help with debt relief and lower monthly payments. Now onto this topic. The thing is this. Build with a man, not build a man, okay? This isn't Build-A-Bear where you put all of your energy into creating this successful person, right? And then you do nothing for yourself. People are so afraid of this idea of building with a person because what women ultimately do is build a person, right? They build their man, they build him up, make him a king, all of these different things we hear people say. And then he goes off with somebody else is what those who have experienced some trauma in relation to that have experienced. To build with a person is different from building a person, right? Stop trying to build a man up in the absence of building yourself. Partnership should allow both of you to establish something, to grow, to evolve, to build each other, right? That's the difference, and that's the key. When a man is in partnership with a woman, he needs to be also building her as well. She also needs to be empowered, encouraged, supported on her journey, right? So build yourself as well. We got to get out of this idea that you get into these relationships and then you build this man up. You build this man up. You mature him. You grow him. You mother him until he's a whole, full grown man. And then, you've lost all those years if he runs off with somebody else and he's a finished product. What the hell have you become in this time? Why haven't you contributed more to who you were, what you built for you? Like, if you're going to be in a partnership, be in a partnership. Require a partnership. Just because someone's under construction, so to speak, doesn't mean they're not supposed to still be contributing to you, giving you rest, giving you motivation, giving you empowerment, encouragement, giving you that push, that support that you need to also build you. You cannot be just a helper to a man. You cannot just be a helpmate, okay? That's a wash, right? You've played yourself if all you've done is support a man in the absence of supporting yourself and your own dreams and goals and ambitions. So yes, while you're in these relationships, you're supposed to be self-developing and being assisted by your partner during that process as well, just like you support them. You are not just a helpmate. You are each other's helpmates. We often hear about a woman, slaving in a relationship, doing everything she can to build this man up. And I'm always confused at that. I'm like, what were you doing? Why were you not building who you were up? Why did you become your relationship, right? Why did you assume an identity completely dependent on your building of this person? Right? Why is your identity supporter of John Doe or whoever your boyfriend is, right? You cannot make that your identity. Too often women are making these relationships their identity. So yes, they're building with their partner, so to speak. But really what they've done is they've created this relationship with this person. And this relationship is the thing that they work on. They don't work on themselves. They don't develop anything. Their relationship is their identity. So many women are so focused on achieving the relationship because that's their idea of success or failure, right? There are women who haven't accomplished shit for themselves, but they hang their hats on, or at least I got a man, or I got a husband, or I'm married, right? And so their whole identity is wrapped up in that relationship. So when that doesn't work, yeah, they're traumatized. They're devastated that this man has left them with all the work that they put into this relationship because they didn't actually develop their own identity outside of the relationship. So my suggestion, my advice to you is if you're going to build with a man, do so, but not in the absence of building yourself. That man cannot be your identity. That relationship cannot be your identity. You have to decide who you are, what you want to be when you grow up, right? And I always use that analogy when you grow up because I don't know if we ever really feel that old. But yeah, you have to contribute to your relationship just like you contribute to you. Your partner's supposed to be trying to build you and encourage you and motivate you and guide you in the same way that you do them. Now, if you can't get that reciprocated, if you can't get that mutually beneficial relationship, then you don't need to be in that relationship. You're supposed to be dating someone who understands partnership as you gain an understanding of partnership. So if you're building on this person and you're building this person's career, you're building this person's bank account, you're building this person's knowledge and awareness, you're doing their homework for school, you're doing all these different things to facilitate them being successful, then you've just thrown your whole identity and your whole future into the faith that this relationship is going to be forever, which is probably not the smartest thing. It's a little bit foolish to do so because half of the relationships are ending in breakups. You have an ability and you have a chance of success and staying together forever. People do it, but you should never build a man without building yourself. So the issue isn't that relationships are bad. You should never build with the person. The issue is women aren't building themselves. They're not developing self. And then they're staking their retirement on this relationship. That's the biggest problem. I don't believe that is smart. I don't believe you should ever give someone that much power over you, right? And I think too often we get comfortable not needing to do much outside of support this person, right? And we don't maybe want to do the double duty of supporting this person and then being our own person and supporting ourselves and going full steam ahead for our own dreams. But that's what it's going to take if you're trying to build with a person. You have to know what you want for your life, right? And if you are a person who is more content, who lacks ambition, who lacks drive, then you were going to be that whether or not you were with them, to be honest. If you were just going to support somebody else to be driven, somebody else to be ambitious, to somebody else to be successful, we got to stop blaming the people that have drive and that are successful, that we connect ourselves to and we put ourselves into for us not achieving, for us not having, or for us not being stable when these relationships go away. Because to be honest, a person who doesn't have ambition was going to probably struggle at some point regardless. Now they've attached themselves to this person, so they've had some years of good stuff happen. But to be honest, we know what the lack of ambition does for whomever might have it. So let's be clear about that. If you have ambition, don't just have ambition for what that man achieves. Have ambition for what you achieve in life as well, right? Really make it a partnership. Contribute to yourself. That way, if y'all break up, you can take what you built for yourself and he can take what he built for himself. And now you're just both going your separate ways. You might have to change your lifestyle because you don't have the two income thing, but you still have somewhere to turn. You know who you are. You developed yourself, right? But if your dream was to just be a stay-at-home mom, I think that's kind of sometimes where people, if you don't have a partner that you can really trust to be about what he says and make them promises and keep them, that's where we go wrong, is that we put our future on someone else's shoulders. And I don't think that's ever smart, despite the relationship. So when, it's a win-win if you're building yourself in a relationship, but it's a win-lose if you built this other person. You've staked your whole retirement and the rest of your life on this person, and they maybe didn't even ask for that responsibility or were not prepared to actually commit to that level of responsibility for you. As adults, we have to contribute to, our future as much as our partnership. So that's unsafe, and that leaves a lot of women in very bad positions with nothing. And so I'm all for women getting their half of the relationship if they built their partner up. Like if me and my wife separated, she deserves half. I would not be what I am without her. It would not be possible, because I don't know another woman who would give herself to thousands of women a year, right? Or give her thing, her precious husband, to thousands of women a year. And there are very few women who would be comfortable with a man speaking to other women for a living, right? So I know what I've achieved through at least my home endeavors and my entrepreneurial endeavors. I know what I've achieved is also because I have a great wife who is confident and who knows her man and who's chosen well, so she doesn't have the fears that some other women would have if their man talked to 2 women a year, and I'm talking to thousands. So trust and believe that you need to be building yourself. And so my wife her investment is tight because she understands that I'll never take nothing from her. And I want her to live good because we had these babies and we need to make sure that these men grow up and they grow up to be good, And so for me, I'm not of the mindset that you should just build your partner. You should be also establishing things for yourself and or you need to be really dating somebody who you've established that you can trust in this way. And sometimes people shock us. They surprise us with the level of dastardly that they might achieve. So it's not every woman's fault that, you know, she's gotten herself in a position or the relationship failed and now this man is shitting on her. She's left with nothing, right? That happens. Those are victims. I'm not blaming, I can't say the victim blaming idea, but I'm not blaming those women. But I'm just saying, if you're going to build, if you're starting from scratch, if you're starting right now, the idea and that I would push on to you is to build yourself as well and never build someone in the absence of building yourself. That's an old school mindset that people just don't have the level of commitment and loyalty that they used to have to fulfill like they used to in the old days. So anyway, now I hope that helps. Yes, you can build with a man, but build yourself too. That's the key to that. Follow me, KFig24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.